Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and can you believe that I am not showing rainbows today? That's all I've been using. But if you're watching this when it goes live, which is Monday, January 10th, you can check out the InstaHop, and we're featuring items from Celebration and the mini catalog. Let me show you. I'm not using it today, but I want to show you this. So I do still have product shares available. My first two are closed, but there is still room. When I have 4 people, I will place the order. You can order DSP. This is a Celebration item, but just so you know, you can order just the DSP, just the ribbon, just the embellishments, or you can do all 3, or you can do a combination of 2. But if you do get all 3, you're getting some gifts from me beyond this paper. Okay, so that is my little sampler. So I want to show you the paper that we're using today is Sweet Talk, and I just love this pattern. Now I love so many patterns in here. I love that one. I think is my favorite, and then this is my second. Now I use this paper and it's sideways, I know, but it's because I trimmed my DSP to 6x12 and they were all going the wrong way. So this is my sample. This is the one we're going to use. And let's get that out of the way. If you have ever wanted to make your own little treat bag, like the In Color treat bags, they're not quite as tall, but you could go beyond the measurement. We are going to make one of these, and if you weren't lucky enough to get my Santa's Workshop tutorial in December with an order, or actually you can still purchase the PDF, but if you don't have that, this is in that tutorial, but I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So we need a piece of DSP, which is 6x10. This one is 6x12. I kind of thought about putting a gusseted thing in here because this does not sit nice. If you have something that's flatter, it will sit nice. But these Laura Secord milk chocolate candy mini eggs, which are from Dollar Tree, and they now have Valentine's ones, are so cute. Now I wanted some pink in there, but I wanted DSP. The cardstock is too thick if you try and make this bag like that, but that is what is in there. Also plus, Dollar Tree has these adorable little Velcro dots now. They are not as low profile as the Velcro brand ones, but not too bad, huh? Okay, so let me show you how I made that. I'm not going to put these in this time, but I do have some. And I have just started keto, so I will not be eating those. Okay, so we need our paper trimmer. And like I said, we need this to be 6x10, so I'm just going to take 2 inches off. And then while we have it on this side, we're going to score at 3 and 7.5. Probably wouldn't have made a difference one way or the other, but I don't want to wreck it. And then we are going to turn it, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, and we're not going to lift it yet. Move that up there. I am going to trim while I'm here up to that score line. Now you could actually go a little bit above the score line, because I have found that if I take just a smidgen off of these pieces, yes, a smidgen, that the bag sits better. So I'm going to take some longer scissors and just take a little slice. So like I said, you could cut above that score line and that would accomplish this same thing. I actually did that on my sample, meant to do it on this one, but I was trying to save a step and just do it all on the trimmer, and then kind of forgot to move it up. So Dory strikes again. Okay, so this is the basis of our bag. We're going to fold this in, and you might notice that on my first one, it is solid, right? Cute. Let's put these back in, because I want to show you it is tricky to get them so that this flap sits straight. So what I did was I held it down, made sure the DSP was at both corners because it has a tendency to shift. I think because these are so dang thick. So hold it down and just do that Velcro dot. Use your tummy for leverage like I just did. But on the first one that I did, I put a window in there. So the reason that I came up with this design is because I wanted to be able to put a window in here. And I did figure it out. I'm not going to spill my secret. You might already know it. It might not be as genius as I think it is. But on my first one, which I've now given away, I used one of the Tasteful label dies and I cut my window, which is fine. But I don't want, oops, I'm going to need that in a minute. I don't want that much to be showing. So I think we'll use, now that I've got all the crinkly plastic out of the way, I think we're going to use the largest heart. This would even be cute if you put a little window that just had the hearts in it. Except it wouldn't show very much, would it? I've got other Valentine's candies. I'll show you some ideas. So figure out where you want your heart to be. On your sleeve, in your chest. Okay, and then we're going to die cut our window. You can see I'm kind of going off center. Now the other thing you could do that I didn't do on my sample was just take a little bit of this out. So you can see I've got the basic Borders dies here. So if you line up, this is just the stitched, I don't know what you would call that. Line it up. Don't keep it folded, but it's easier to align it this way. So line it so that you're going from corner to corner. Use a little bit of tape, and I find that if I stick this tape to my shirt or my jeans, it gets all dirty, but it also does not tear my DSP. So before I cut this, I need to open that back up. Otherwise, it's going to cut into the back. Now, I'm not quite where I want to be on that side. So much for my little trick, right? It's not the end of the world if it cuts into the sides, but we're going to put this in our paper trimmer like this. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, that's great, but it's 6 inches. So just because this isn't hanging, like it's not fully on there, just fold your flap down and then you can fit it going through sideways. I would show you that part, but I'm only using an electric die cutting machine now. I begged Stampin' Up! For an electric one when we found out they were bringing 2 new machines, but they didn't listen. Dang it. I'm just finding that with the amount of die cutting I do, I need a machine to do it. So I have my electric die cutting machine off to the side. Okay, now we also need a piece of real red cardstock, and we're going to use this little cutie patootie. So keep that handy. Done with this one. Now we need a little piece of vellum to cover that window. And I just happen to have a scrap that was big enough. So I'm going to just put some liquid glue around the heart. Doesn't need to be super close. It's okay if you go a little bit beyond. You can just wipe it off with your finger. But this helps to maintain the structure of the window. Okay, so now we're going to fold our flaps in, and you want the smaller one on the inside. Okay, so just smack down some glue or tear and tape, whatever you want to use. Probably go a little bit further. There we go, give it a burnish. Same thing here. My finger's all sticky from the wiping of the vellum glue. This finger's like a Post-it note now. Okay, so super cute, right? We could just leave it like that. But I do want a flap, so that piece has to be 2 inches by 4.5 inches. Actually, I think we might go a little bit longer this time. So we'll take our 2 inches here, because you can see if I go to 4.5, I end up with this weird little scrap, and then I'm going to have a scrap there. So where you can, take it off of the smaller. Now, that's not going to work, is it? I want to go to 2.5. 2.5, and then we're going to back it up, and I'm actually going to do this side because I notice I have little fuzzies on there, which I could use my nail buffing block, but I don't feel like it. I'm going to fold that down with my paper scissors. I'm just going to miter this a little bit. There we go. Easy peasy. And now we can line up our other basic border die. Whichever one you want to use is fine. Try and go closer to the bottom so that you're not ending up with a flap that's too small. Use some of that leftover tape and run it through your die cutting machine. Oh, I also want to mention the reason that I use the gumball machine for the InstaHop is that is what Tiffany Almeida and I are using for the January Creativity Delivered. So if you love the gumball machine, you're not going to want to miss this one. In Canada, you're ordering with me, and in the US, you're ordering with Tiffany. Now, what I like to do is cover that seam. You could put it on the inside. It's totally up to you, but you can see I went just a tiny bit over. So I like to put it on the outside. And if you don't like liquid glue, you can definitely use Tear and Tape, Stampin' Seal Plus, but I recommend putting it on there and then folding it down to make sure that you haven't gone too high or too low. So just make sure that it closes just right. There we go. It's so cute, right? Now we need a heart. And I just happen to have some that I had die cut for our upcoming retreat, but it ended up being the wrong paper. So this is some of that Sweet Talk DSP. We're going to, I'm kind of wondering, how do I want to do this? I had it on just straight before, but the fact that that heart is kind of there, the fact that that heart is there, I kind of want to have it where they overlap a little bit, but I don't think it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is just apply glue to like the top 2/3 of that heart. We'll just put it on straight. Make sure that you don't have glue hanging over because you don't want to glue your bag closed. And then you're going to use a Velcro dot. And like I said, these are from Dollar Tree. The last time I got them there, all I could find were these huge ones, which works for a bigger project. But I found these ones today. Now, truth be told, my favorite are these mini Velcro brand Velcro dots because they're so streamlined. Like they don't pop everything up. Streamline the right word? You see what I mean? Like these ones are so flat. These ones are not, but you get like, I don't even know, like 500 of them. I'm kidding. For $1, I think it's $1.50 now. Okay, so I like to put the hard part on the top. I did not do that my first time around, so I like to put them together. I like it not to stick to my finger. Lock them in and then close it. And then they will naturally be where they need to be. Now, the first couple of times you open it, it might want to come off. So just sit there and get them working nicely together. Okay? So, that, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my little sentiment on the heart. You think we can do it? Let's try. So all I did was I took this Love You, which you can see I didn't even clean off. And I just stamped it on there. I used my, sorry, I'm focused on that. I use my Real Red Stampin' Right marker because I don't want that outline. I just want the letters. So I hold it kind of perpendicular to the letters, go over it once or twice, try not to get any of the outline. And this time I am going to stamp it higher up. I did get a little bit of the outline, but whatevs. So you can see this one, I actually went the way it was stamped and it's too low. That one's too high, that one's too low. We've got Goldilocks going on. And if you do what I just did, take a Tombow Mono sand eraser and get rid of that ink. if it bothers you. If it doesn't, just leave it. The one thing to be careful about with your sand eraser is that you don't go too hard in the same area for too long. I was trying to figure out how I was going to say that where it didn't sound like a dirty joke. So just go over a little bit, wipe it away, because you can see that I'm kind of taking the finish off of that now. So good enough. If you're concerned about the fact that there's a little bit of ink where there shouldn't be, you could always spritz on here, but I'm not going to because I've already gone too far. I don't want to have ink all over this. But if it bothered you, you could come in with a marker and just add some little spritzes. So this is the difference between having them in and not. I may do a gusseted bag the next time that I make one of these. But I know I said I wasn't going to put these in, but look at the difference between having the window and having this little scalloped line versus just having it straight. I mean, neither one of them sit perfectly flat because these are big, because these are thick candies. They're eggs. I can't even eat them. Okay, so I would love to know in the comments below which one is your favorite. Do you love this one? Do you love this one with the sideways hearts? Or do you love this one with the little window? Now, truth be told, I meant to put a window in that and I ended up gluing the back and I'm like, oh, dang it. So I figured I would redeem myself and show you one without the window and one with. So let me know, is this one your favorite? Is this one your favorite? Do you like the window but with this DSP? Let me know. I would love to know. And if this was your first time here, welcome, of course. I don't like to say this at the beginning of the video because you don't know me. If this is your first time here, I'm not going to say subscribe, like, comment, whatever. I want you to get to the end of the video and say, I really like that. I'm going to subscribe. So that is why I do that. I used to think it was because I forgot, because I mean, let's face it, I'm Dory. But no, I don't like when someone says at the beginning of the video, subscribe. Like, sorry, dude, I just met you. I don't know. So, ramble. I hope that you found some inspiration here. If you make this project, I would love to see it. You can share it on Instagram and tag me. You can share it in my Facebook group. Side note, I am no longer using my Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, come and find my Stamped AF group, not the page. I have a note on there saying that go to my group, but yeah, I would love to see it. Share it however you want to share it. And that is all for this week. I hope that you enjoyed this, and we'll see you soon, my crafty friends. Bye.